What's up, YouTube? This is Roy.
And this is Joey.
We're from Third Duelist, and today we're doing a new segment, I guess. I guess you can call it Fake Card Review. So, basically what we're doing is we're taking an archetype that has been power creeped or neglected, and we're going to basically create a card or cards that will help it compete, hopefully with the meta, but at least in general. And today we're going to be starting with the Traptrix archetype. It's more of an engine used with artifacts and hands, but we're going to see if we can try to make it a
actual deck.
And to start off with, I have Traptrix Reach. It's a normal spell card that reads, add one Traptrix monster from your deck to your hand. So it's a basic search card. However, there's more. If this set card is destroyed by your opponent's card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then add one Traptrix monster from your graveyard to your hand. I feel like this extra effect would be necessary because it kind of goes along with the hat theme that it was normally in, where the artifacts would be destroyed in the back row and then they get effects. And also the other search effect is pretty nice too because they're limited on the number of monsters they have, and so if they run out of targets in deck and there's enough in graveyard, they can get to them and kind of recycle and keep going. And I feel like this is necessary to kind of compete with the meta, so I like the extra effect on here.
Just a heads up to everyone, we haven't showed each other these cards, so Roy's cards I've never seen before and he's never seen mine. We both made a couple. But anyway, my opinion on this, I really like this design. It's a simple search card, which any real deck needs a searcher. Plus it has an extra effect to give it a little bit of extra boost to make it useful, even when you don't need more monsters. Like all your stuff's been run through, so you just set it, hope it gets popped, and then then you get to add from grave to hand. It's not the most useful extra effect, but I feel like it's appropriate. It's not too overpowered, so I think you did a really good job with this one.
Right.
Anyway, I made a trap card. It's another trap hole card. This is called Endless Trap Hole. It's a counter trap card. It says, when your opponent special summons a monster while you control a Traptrix monster, you can return that monster to the top of the deck. Okay, so this card may seem really overpowered at first, but you have to keep in mind you have to have a Traptrix monster, which means if you Xyz, like you Dianea, Myrmilio Xyz, and you don't make the Traptrix Xyz that I made, because all these cards are real, because I said so. But anyway, you have to control Traptrix, and then you just return it to the top of the deck. It doesn't target, obviously, but I feel like it's a really powerful card, and you need powerful cards if you're going to have a good deck, and I don't feel like it's too overpowered. But anyway, it has a second effect. After that, it says, both cards in your graveyard, except for the turn it was sent there, you can banish this card to send one Traptrix card from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, you can draw one card. And I feel like it should do something else other than just be a trap, because Traptrix don't have, like, if we're adding R4 cards, then they have 6 good cards. So I feel like this has an appropriate power level. It's really a strong card, and I can understand why some people would think it's overpowered, but I really like the way I made it because it's a really powerful card, and I mean it can still get wiretapped and things like that. So I feel like it's just a really good card for the deck.
Okay, looking at it, I see that it's a counter trap, which I feel like is necessary for any deck. They need some counter traps because they're hard to get around. My only downside of this, I guess, would be it wouldn't really be searchable with Myrmilio because it's not a normal trap card. However, I still think it's a really good card, and by it not being able to be searched, it kind of takes it down for being too overpowered.
Yeah, that's something I thought of too. If you just search these, just summon Myrmilio, you can't summon monsters. That's unfortunate. So I think that's good that this can't be searched.
Also, I do like the effect of being able to send a monster to the graveyard because it kind of has some synergy with the Traptrix Reach I have.
Well, and it makes your Dianeas live if you open up with Dianeas.
That too. And also, going back with the Traptrix Reach, with the Reach effect where it has to be destroyed by your opponent's card effect, it makes it to where you can't use that effect of Endless Trap Hole and then MST your own Traptrix Reach and go super plus.
Yeah.
So I feel like both effects have really good synergy, but they're not too overpowered together.
Yeah, which I'll say this again. We didn't see these beforehand. We're just awesome like that, where we made them work together. But anyway, Roy has another one. He's got a monster for the main deck.
I have Traptrix Shokan. I might be pronouncing it wrong. I took it from the pronunciation for the Japanese character meaning summoner, and the reason why is because this thing will summon. It's a level 4 Earth Insect Tuner. The effect is, this card is unaffected by the effects of whole normal trap cards, so like all the other ones. When this card is summoned, you're supposed to summon one Traptrix monster from your deck with the same attribute as this card. So basically you can summon any of the other Traptrix monsters from your deck. Its effects are negated to the end phase, which doesn't really matter because they're both level 4, so you're probably going to exceed summon or synchro. This card cannot be used for synchro summon except for the synchro summon of a Traptrix monster. While we don't have a Traptrix synchro yet, this would be a good sign for Traptrix because it kind of lets them know that there's going to be more support coming out.
Well, plus you don't just want to have generic 8s running all over just
exactly
one card.
Yeah. And of course you can only use this effect of Traptrix Shokan once per turn. It has 1500 attack, 500 defense, so it's not too overpowered. And I feel like this is a pretty decent card to get into some instant rank 4s, which is really nice for any deck, but for Traptrix to be able to do that, I feel like is pretty decent, and it would be a decent way to get into the Exceeds monster too, I guess.
Okay, well, once you see the Exceeds monster, you're not going to like it because it's pretty powerful, but my only problem with this is it's when it's summoned, and the Satellar Knights already do that, and that's kind of hard to deal with Soul Charge and Call the Haunteds and stuff. You could just bring it out. Like I said, we don't have a synchro for you guys, but I think it's a pretty powerful card. When you see this Exceeds monster I'm going to make, it's going to make this card really, really good because it's going to make it, and it's really powerful. But overall, I think it's a powerful card. I feel like it would be necessary to make this deck good, but I don't feel like it's too broken to where, oh, you're going to make a rank 4, and it's still susceptible to breakthroughs and Fiendish Chains and things like that.
And warnings.
And all kinds of things. So it's not too overpowered. There's decks that's special from deck. I mean, like, I think it's plenty fair card.
Just kind of helps speed up Traptrix.
Yeah. Well, anyway, here's the Exceeds monster. Our Traptrix Hawkmoth. It's some sort of insect of some sort. It's not generic. It's 2 level 4 Traptrix monsters. This card's unaffected by whole trap cards. It's a Traptrix. When this card is Exceeds summoned, you can set one whole trap card from your graveyard and banish it when it leaves the field. It's a whole normal trap card. You can't set the counter trap. So, once per turn, you can detach one Exceeds material from this card to target one monster your opponent controls and send it to the graveyard. Okay, that's pretty powerful. I'll give you that. I had to make it once per turn, and like I said, it's not generic. And if this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard while it has Exceeds material, you can add one Traptrix monster from your graveyard to your hand. It has 2400 attack and 1900 defense. Now, when I made this card, I envisioned making a boss monster for Traptrix, because if you're going to have a decent deck, you need a boss monster. And I only gave it 2400 attack because its effect's pretty awesome. You get a set of Bottomless or a Trapple Nightmare or something like that, which is pretty decent, but I mean, still MSTs and things like that. Then the detach to send a card to the graveyard, it's kind of like Black Ship of Corn, only I feel like since it's not generic, it can be a little bit better than Black Ship of Corn. So there's that effect. It's once per turn, of course. And then I feel like since everything floats, this thing should at least get you something if it's destroyed. So since you only have a few good monsters, I feel like you should be able to add it back from your graveyard to your hand.
Yeah, overall I really like this card. 2500 attack isn't too bad. It's a nice attack. You can get over most things, but still
not too powerful.
Not too powerful. I do like how it is non-generic. I also like where it says you have to target the other monster that you're sending to the graveyard, because if it didn't target and it also didn't destroy it, I would say it's
powerful.
Yeah,
I understand that.
But overall, I really do like that effect. And you were saying how once that card was shown that Shokan would be too powerful, or not really too powerful, but
more powerful.
More powerful. I mean, yes and no, in my opinion. I mean, it
just gives you another really good option to make.
I mean, like, if you're going to go first turn with Shokan, I don't think you're going to make Hawkmoth.
Well, no, it's more of a reactive card.
Yeah, it's a reactive card.
Something, then it's like, oh, get rid of it.
it's just like the Castellar 101. You're not going to open with it. And so, to me, it's not too much of a boss monster because it's not, oh, you're going to open with it, sit on it, and then your opponent's
Well, I
not
mean,
going
it's
to
not
do
a
anything.
Legio. We're not playing battle boxes, but I still feel like the boss monster, it's something you can make reliably, and even if you just make it to have it there, when it dies, you get to add back your Dianea to make another thing, which I really like. It's responsive and it's proactive. I feel like if you didn't, it'd be a card like you'd play as many as you play 3 of, and you can just make it off your Dianeas and stuff and have it there, and then when it dies, you can get the Dianea back or whatever and just make something else if you don't need to make anything else. Plus, it puts pressure on your opponent when they special summon something like, I gotta kill the thing, or it's gonna get rid of my stuff next turn. So I felt like it was a really solid power level. It wasn't too strong or too weak, and I'm kind of proud of this card. I really like it. So, off the top of your head, what could we do for a synchro?
For a synchro, well, obviously it would be level 8, and it would be a Traptrix tuner and one or more non-tuner monsters. So you could run Traptrix Shokan in another deck if you wanted to, just to make the Traptrix synchro, which would be not really smart.
Make
but
it Earth Insect, of course.
Earth Insect, of course, or maybe Earth Plant.
Yeah.
And then I guess when it's synchro summon, you could set one normal whole trap card from your deck or graveyard to the field.
I'd say just deck.
Deck to field.
This does graveyard, so I'd say that one should do deck.
And then
have it be like once per turn, you can banish a Traptrix to pop a card on the field or something like that. That'd be pretty fair, I think.
Yeah.
Banish a Traptrix card from your graveyard to pop one card on the field.
Yeah.
And give it like 2,500 or 2,600 attack. I feel like that'd be pretty fair.
Yeah, that seems pretty decent.
I mean, that's something I would make in certain situations.
Yeah.
I'd say like 2,600 attack, maybe like 2,000, 2,100 defense, and just have it set a Traptrix trap card, normal trap card from your deck.
And also unaffected by the effects of normal
that's
whole
kind
traps.
of a given.
Yeah.
And then just have it pop a card when you can banish a Traptrix card, not just a monster, a Traptrix card to pop one card on the field. So that's just kind of off the top of our heads. He didn't tell me he was making a tuner, or we would have made a synchro. But let us know what you guys think, and share your ideas with us. Give us some ideas for this, whether it's archetypes or even cards, and we'll talk about them, and you can tell us what you think, and we'll discuss it.
Yeah, we'll try to see what the effects on the meta would be if those were real cards, whether or not they would actually function pretty well with the deck, or at least our opinions on whether they would or not. If you want to just leave some descriptions in the comments, or a link to a picture you want to use in a card, or you can go to YugiOhCardmaker.net, which is where we made ours, and you can make them on there for free, and then you can send us a file or a link to it, and we can check it out, and we'll pick a few that we think are pretty decent, and we'll talk about them. If you like the content that you just saw, you can click over here on all these other links and check out the rest of our channel.
And if you liked our stuff, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and tell us what you thought in the comments below.